really exciting to be up here today. So thank you so much for inviting me here. As mentioned, I'm the Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder of Bank Mobile. It's a completely digital, branchless bank with a mission to make banking affordable, effortless, and financially empowering. So today I'm just going to spend a few minutes sharing with you my thoughts on disrupting banking in the digital revolution. So I think a great place to start is to kind of talk about who are the disruptors. So if you look back 1,000 years ago, it was the kings and the queens who really had the power to implement transformative change in society. Now, if you look back to the last 100 years, it was the industrialists, like John D. Rockefeller, that really were the movers and shakers, the innovators, the disruptors in society. But today, because of the technology that we have access to, every single one of us can be a disruptor. Every single one of us in this room today can be a disruptor in the 21st century, and I think that's awesomely exciting. So it's a good place to be. So I just want to take you back a little bit to the last 100 years in banking. What sort of innovations have taken place in banking? So we started about 100 years ago with product development, creating the checking account, savings account, line of credit. Then we developed the bank branches that was really the delivery system for these products to reach the customer. Then the next wave of innovation was, let's have these bank branches open for 7 days a week. Let's offer biscuits, dog biscuits, when customers walk in and have coin counters available to the customers. Then the most recent trend has really been, let's open bank branches at the most expensive street corners in the US. Let's have big wide screens and let's have these smart bankers, which is all good and fine. It's definitely, innovation, but this has not been disruption. And that is what we now are looking at. We have a once in 100-year opportunity because of the technology that is available to us today to truly transform the face of banking and to really be innovators in this space. So how do we take advantage of it? First, let's talk about what is disruption. In my opinion, there's 4 criteria that are needed to be met in order to truly be a disruptor. First, the product has to be better than what exists today. Also, the product needs to be more affordable, easier to use, and the business model really has to have an income and growth model that is at least equal to, if not better, than what exists with traditional players. So now is the time, as I mentioned, where we can really start disrupting banking. And the question is how? So how to get started? In my opinion, it is vital to have a massively transformative vision and purpose. The reason Bank Mobile came into existence was because we had a transformative purpose. We wanted to change the landscape of financial services in this country because honestly, we found it quite appalling. It was pretty amazing, as many of you know in this room, that banks charge $32 billion a year in just overdraft fees. This is more than what Americans spend on buying vegetables. There are 68 million underbanked and unbanked individuals in this country that do not have access to traditional financial services and end up paying about 10% of their annual income for fees for alternative financial services providers. There's a third of Americans living paycheck to paycheck today. About 47% of Americans are actually unable to support $400 if they ever get into an emergency. So I can keep going with the stats. It's astounding. And really, we had a transformative purpose that we wanted to transform this financial landscape. We wanted to be the bank that authentically served and helped Americans that fit these stats have a solid financial foundation so they could truly achieve their goals and truly achieve their dreams. So I ask you guys today to please think about, as you go back to your companies, what is your massive transformative purpose? Why do you exist today? Because only we will get customers to come to us if they believe in what we're doing, if they see value in what we are creating. So it is so important, so vital for us to take the time to truly understand what is our purpose. Second, moonshot thinking. We need to stop thinking in terms of 10% and start thinking about 10x. Yes, it's fine to have 10% improvement in revenue, 10% reduction in sales. That's fine, but that is not going to lead to disruption, and that's what we're talking about today. The moonshot that we had at Bank Mobile is that we wanted to acquire at least 10 times more customers a day than an average traditional bank. And it was only this innovative moonshot thinking that got us to where we are today and where we are going in the future, which is, in my opinion, a fantastic future. So why are moonshots so powerful, so important? Well, what's pretty interesting is that when you shoot for 10x improvement, you actually approach the problem that you're facing in a radically different way. And you actually come up with solutions that are so innovative and so transformative that you never thought you actually had the ability to come up with such solutions. And the best part, in my opinion, is that 10x versus 10% improvement is always 100 times more worth it, but it is never 100 times harder to achieve, which is pretty exciting. So I encourage you guys again to also think about, what is your moonshot? What is it that is going to radically transform the way that you do business today? How are you going to increase your growth by 10x? How are you going to increase the value that you provide to customers by 10x? And this quote by Larry Page really reminds me of moonshot thinking. If you're not doing some things that are crazy, then you're doing the wrong things. So please keep that in mind as you're continuing to think about what your moonshots are for your company. 3, focus on the customer. Everything else is secondary. It is so true that we need to understand that customers hold the power today, and rightfully so. We exist to serve our customers. And so we understood this at Bank Mobile, so before we actually launched, we made sure to do a lot of focus groups, a lot of interviews to really understand from our target demographic, millennials, what is it that they are looking for from their bank to love their bank, to really truly enjoy the experience with their banking partner. And we took some of the collection of these interviews and created this video for you guys to take a look at. Oops. Can someone help me playing the video, please?
When I think of bankers, I just think of like stuffy old men, like people who are kind of miserable sitting in a back room counting change. My change.
I don't really like going to banks. They're just boring.
I don't really know what's going on there. I just give them my money.
They're not looking out for me and my money. They always start to take out the most amount of money for all the transactions pending. And then they like nickel and dime you through all the smaller ones.
There's going to be a $3 charge for this transfer. There's going to be $25 if you don't keep this balance. Sometimes I think they just make them up.
I'm very willing to switch banks.
I'm not terribly committed to my bank.
I'm just looking for a bank that can help me in my personal situation.
All the banking I try to do right now is online.
I think the future of banking would probably be like no branches.
If everything could be done online, why would we need to go to branches?
The technology's there. If I could just take a picture of my bill and then it just be paid or become part of my bill pay, that would be phenomenal.
If I was to build a perfect bank,
Having something that's convenient and customized for me.
No limits on deposits, no ATM fees.
security is definitely important to me.
Transparency is key because it has to be clear and honest with what's going on.
More financial advice.
More control, more empowered with my money.
Giving me the ability to make decisions myself.
I want a bank that makes me feel like my account matters.
So what's really interesting is that, Steve Jobs said this as well, that customers don't always know what they want. And so this was definitely a very interesting exercise for us, but they had great ideas, but honestly none of them were that transformative or that innovative. So I really encourage you guys, and this is what we've done as well, is that you really need to think about What is it that can really create a wow experience for your customers? Because customers are so used to the mediocre experience that you provided them that they might not be able to tell you themselves. So, at Bank Mobile, we really think about not just being a means to an end, where we're selling a car loan, but really creating a car buying experience from start to finish. Not just selling a mortgage, but creating a home buying experience from start to finish, because that's how the emotional connection with your customer is actually developed. And so it's also important that we realize that it's not just important to focus on the important milestones in people's lives, but to figure out ways that we can provide value on a daily basis in their lives and really create magical moments for them. So I would encourage you guys to think about who is your customer, what are they doing on a daily basis, and how can you interject and weave yourself on a daily basis to add value in their daily lives, given that financial components touch basically every moment of your life in some capacity. Fourth, as I mentioned before, income and growth model that is better than traditional players. This is really important. So if we look at the traditional model, which you're all aware of, we use the bank branch to really deliver banking products and to really acquire customers. And you guys might be astounded, or you might very well know, that on average, a bank branch opens one net new checking account a week. One net new checking account a week. And so, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's incredibly inefficient. And so it's really important for us as a cohort to think about how can we create a new customer acquisition model that acquires customers at 10x that amount that we're acquiring today at a minimum, and have that experience really focused on a digital experience where we're really clear about our unique value proposition and our transformative purpose, where we're focused on developing technology to help solve our customers' needs, where we start creating strategic partnerships with both players inside our industry and outside our industry to really help us create that wow, memorable experience for our customers. We've seen Apple go into the music business. We've seen Uber go into the food delivery business. We don't have to stick to just our industry. Let's think of ways that we can partner with the right people that have that same moonshot thinking as us and that same determination to really create the most value for our customers and partner with them to create that wow experience. So I just want to spend a few minutes with you sharing my general thoughts about where I think the future of banking is going. I do think a couple years from now, we all in this room are going to start viewing ourselves more and more as tech companies that just happen to have a bank charter. We're also going to be so great at collecting data analytics to really be able to anticipate our customers' needs and proactively deliver on it. We're going to be moving away from money management. We're going to be moving away from money transactions and moving much more towards money management and helping to provide advice and financially empowering our customers. We're not just going to be a means to an end. We're going to be selling wow experiences and building that emotional connection with our customers. We're going to be developing technology that is much more based on an open infrastructure where we can use APIs to connect with other apps, with other partners, to really create a much broader financial ecosystem, a much broader lifestyle ecosystem, all under our banking digital experience for our customers. I also see ourselves taking part in the Internet of Things. So if you have your fridge and you're out of milk and your fridge alerts you, then the bank steps in, and right there and then we help create that payment for you to buy another gallon of milk, and also help with the process of making sure that the new milk gallon gets delivered to your home. This is the direction where we're going, and this is the way we need to start thinking. So I wanted to introduce you to Bank Mobile briefly and to share with you a little bit about what we're all about. And this is a very brief video showing how we market ourselves to millennials. If you could play the video, please.
You aren't your parents. Don't bank like them. Say hey to Bank Mobile, the world's first and only mobile-only fee-free bank built for and by millennials. Finally, a bank style as free as your lifestyle. Freestyle banking that pokes convention in the eye. Free from the fees that box you in. Less rust, more trust. Free from the minimums that weigh you down. That oh-so-free mindset that you know what's yours and life really is in your hands. Higher interest savings that frees you up to do whatever interests you, whenever it interests you. Mo money, momentum. Providing tips to financially empower you so you can hack life. Coloring outside the lines is the new party line. 25-8-366. Anywhere, anytime banking at the corner of Snapchat and Vine. And supported by 55,000 fee-free ATMs. That's freestyle banking. Download the app or visit bankmobile.com and get with the unlimited, unfiltered, unbanked Bank Mobile.
So Bank Mobile launched back in January 2015, so we've been in business a little under a year and a half. We are obviously very focused on Moonshot Thinking. We have 2 million customers to date, millennials, that are signed up with us. And we also are attracting, we have a customer acquisition model where we're attracting about 500,000 new customers each year. And so we truly believe that we are disrupting banking in this digital revolution and are really excited about where we'll be going from here. So I just want to end today with a quote that I really like from Peter Diamandis, who's the executive chairman of Singularity University. He said, "You must disrupt yourself or someone else will." So guys, let's take advantage of this digital revolution. Let's together change the face of banking for the better. Thank you so much.